The Mutalith Vortex beast is an affront to reason and the ordained pattern of creation. Its form is a ceaseless flux, drawing in the Imperium's raw currents only to disgorge them in tempests of unmaking. Those who do not crumble into madness beneath its gaze are soon remade, wrenched into fresh monstrosities by the beast's baleful emanations.
Welcome to Beyond the Box Art, where this video we look at a recently completed commission for Aphelion, the Mutalith Vortex beast.
A Mutalith Vortex beast is no mere aberration of flesh, but a profane manifestation wrought by the warp and shaped by the inscrutable will of Tzeentch, the changer of ways. No other wretch better embodies Tzeentch's capricious malice. These cyclopean nightmares loom vast upon the field of war, eclipsing mortals and war engines alike as they hurl their grotesque bulk into the fray. Its baleful roar echoes for 10 kilometers, clawing at the minds of all who hear, planting within them visions of dread impossible. A tapestry of contradictions woven from madness. Yet such spectral terror pales beside the horror of the beast's charge. Its flesh writhes in perpetual transfiguration, sinews swelling, rending, and knitting anew as it hurls itself upon the foe. Talons like obsidian scythes shear through steel and ceramite, leaving crews and soldiers exposed to the gnawing tides of empiric flux that shroud the monster. From its tentacled maw lurch viscera-born tendrils, foul with the warp's own corruption. These failing appendages seize and sunder the living, binding their broken forms before drawing them into the churning ruin of the creature's gluttonous gullet.
The model was painted in its three key components, built up of the body, the tentacles, and the vortex. It was painted almost entirely on the Beyond the Box Art channel on twitch.tv. I spent a long session with the airbrush, laying down the black and a few highlights on the body, establishing the purples and pastel violets on the back of the tentacles, and finally filling the vortex with colours. Everything would see the brush. I forget if the tentacles or the vortex were first. Picked out the segments of the grabby sides of the tentacles, washed them down, I think somewhat regrettably. Pin washed or oil washed might have been better, but that's what we did. I think painting the tentacles in their three parts and sticking them together after may have been easier, and so maybe a bit quicker. You can take that as you like. The vortex, after spraying, just needed some dark blue and freehand in the central ball, and to separate out the magenta of the swirls as they hit and contrast against the orange to yellow to white blend in the vortex's openings. So in the end, the airbrush blends underneath served as just a sketch as it was all painted over. The purples of the chest were achieved with a mix of loaded brush, stippling, feathering, recess shading, and freehand lines for highlights. The black highlights were made with a mix of Citadel's Dark Reaper and black, and mixing up from there with a neutral grey. He got pinned into the base with paper clips drilled in through the feet and secured using superglue and bicarbonate of soda. The sand and tufts were supplied by Aphelion, which we figured out eventually was builder's sand. The best guess for the foliage was gamer's grass, light green initially, but it actually turned out to be from Firestorm Games. That's as much info as we have. They do stock gamer's grass along with all game terrain and AK interactive tufts, all of which have potential matches. So I think we'll go with the gamer's grass for the sake of my brain and the rest of this project. I cut some custom foam and packaged it safely, arriving unscathed. It has since blasted and gobbled up at least a squad of 10 Plague Marines, much to the delight of my customer, which pleases me no end. Of course, as we all know, well-painted miniatures perform better on the board. If you're interested in a commission, then drop me a message and maybe we can work together on a project you're excited about. You've been watching Beyond the Box Art. Click all the buttons below, leave a comment if you enjoyed the content, and remember, between now and then, to look beyond the box art, question everything, and have fun. If you enjoyed that episode of Beyond the Box Art, make sure to follow me on all my social medias. And if it pleases you to procure one of my painted pieces, you can peruse the eBay shop. And if you really enjoy the content, you can support me directly at ko-fi.com/beyondtheboxart.